Kia ora everybody, welcome to online Storytime at the library. My name's Catherine and this is Claire. I'm going to read a bedtime story to Claire called Little Red Riding Hood. Not quite. It's by Yvonne Morrison, published by Scholastic. So are you ready, Claire?
Yeah.
Are you ready for now? Then let's begin. Once upon a time, there was a girl called Little Red Riding Hood.
Why was she called that?
Because she was little and she always wore a red riding hood.
So her parents named her after her clothes.
It was a nickname.
Like if you called me small blue polka dot pajamas.
Yes, just like that.
What's a riding hood?
Sort of like a cape with a hood that you wear to go riding.
Riding what? A bike?
A horse.
She wore a hood instead of a riding helmet. That's a bit dangerous.
Well, this was the olden days before health and safety regulations.
Yeah, go on.
Well, okay. One day, Little Red Riding Hood's mother gave her a basket of baking and told her to take it to her grandmother's cottage in the woods. So Little Red Riding Hood set off, walking through the deep, dark woods.
Walking?
Yes, walking.
Not riding a horse?
No, walking.
Then why was she wearing her red riding hood?
It was comfortable. Anyway, Little Red Riding Hood set off through the woods, but it wasn't long before she came upon a wolf.
Just one wolf? Don't they usually work in packs?
Usually perhaps, but haven't you ever heard of a lone wolf?
Yeah.
Well, this guy was one of those. And he said to Little Red,
So this wolf can talk?
yes,
And Little Red didn't think that was weird?
no, like I said, this was the olden days.
In the olden days, when animals could talk to humans.
Oh, never mind that. Oh, anyway, the wolf asked Little Red Riding where she was going, and she told him she was going to Grandma's. He told her to take a shortcut, but it was really a longer path. Then he dashed down the real shortcut to Grandma's cottage.
Why didn't he just eat the girl right there and then go to Granny's for dessert?
Oh, he didn't want to be caught eating in public. So anyway, off he went and he knocked on the cottage door. Who's there? Said Granny, and the wolf replied in a high-pitched voice, It's me, Little Red. So Granny said, Come in, dear, the door's unlocked. The wolf nipped into Granny's room and he swallowed her down in one bite.
Whole?
Yes, whole.
Wow! A whole Granny wouldn't fit in a wolf's mouth. If he was a big snake like an anaconda, I could believe it. But wolves have to chew their prey. They have bone-crunching teeth.
Do you want me to change the wolf to an anaconda then?
No, you already said it was a wolf. Too late.
Okay. Well, how about if the wolf coats Granny in honey, like a pill, that might make her easier to swallow.
All right.
Then the wolf looked through Granny's drawers and found a pink nightie and a frilly bread cap and put them on and climbed into bed. Soon he heard a knock at the door. Come in, dear, he called out, and Little Red entered the bedroom. My, what big eyes you have, Grandma, said Little Red.
Big eyes? But wolves' eyes aren't any bigger than human eyes. They're a different colour, though. Are you sure she didn't say, my, what yellow eyes you have, Grandma?
No, she didn't. And the wolf said, all the better to see you with, my dear. Then Little Red said, what big ears you have, Grandma. The wolf said, all the better to hear you with, my dear.
But wouldn't the shape of the ears be more obvious than the size? Wouldn't you say, what pointy ears you have, Grandma? And why would Little Red notice the eyes and ears first? Wouldn't she notice that Grandma has fur and a muzzle and a huge set of canine teeth?
I'm getting to the teeth now.
Oh, fine.
And Little Red said, "What big teeth you have, Grandma."
Little Red's a bit slow, isn't she?
Maybe. And the wolf said, "All the better to eat you with, my dear." And then he sprang out of bed and Little Red screamed as the wolf caught her and gobbled her up. And before you ask, yes, whole, because his throat was already stretched from Grandma.
Okay, well, good night.
Don't you want to hear the end?
I thought that was the end. The wolf ate them both. The end.
No, because a woodcutter heard Little Red scream, and he ran into the cottage and he sliced open the wolf's stomach with his axe, and out jumped Little Red and Grandma.
How'd the woodcutter cut open just the wolf's stomach without hurting Granny and Little Red?
He used to be a surgeon.
And how come Granny and Red were alive? They would have been dissolved by stomach acid.
Well, Little Red had only just been swallowed, and Granny was protected from the acid by the honey, so everyone was happy.
Everyone except the wolf. It wasn't his fault he had to eat meat. He's a carnivore. Besides, aren't wolves endangered?
Well, they weren't in the olden days, but anyway, the woodcutter surgeon got Grandma's sewing kit and stitched up the wolf, and he was as good as new.
Good.
Then the woodcutter took him to a sanctuary for wolves where he made lots of friends and lived happily ever after. The end. Okay?
Okay. Well, good night.
Good night, small blue polka dot pajamas.